the United States Congress in June of this year. Our next speaker, David Meeks, has been traveling all over Central Arkansas, listening to voters about the issues that are important to you. David served his country in the Army from 1990 to 1995. He took part in operations all over the world, from Haiti to Somalia and even in South Korea. After proudly serving our nation, David worked as a project manager for the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Florida before returning to his home in Arkansas. David and his wife Naomi now reside in Conway. Now, a man who vows to represent the values and principles of everyday Arkansans instead of the values of San Francisco. One who knows what the word representative means and will represent the 2nd District of Arkansas in Washington, D.C. Your next Congressman, Mr. David Meeks.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys coming here today, and I'd also like to thank Bob and then Richard and Nicholas and Justin, who will be speaking with us. We had to make a little bit of a change. I was supposed to be the last speaker, but we changed it up. But I appreciate y'all being here, and I can't thank you enough. I would like to say, first of all, I'd like to say congratulations to the Benton 10, I think it's 10 and under softball team or baseball team. And I found out today that they are going to the World Series in Colorado. So congratulations to them. I've had a wonderful first month on the campaign trail, meeting a lot of great people and having some great conversations. And I've got to tell you, I'm really liking Saline County. I've been offered some great support from you and from all across this district. And I look forward to working with you over the next 14 months. 25 days and 2 hours, but who's counting? This past week, Congressman Snyder sought to clear the myths, as he called them, of the health care legislation currently being thrust through Congress. And I'd like to pause here for a second. This is our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. Notice how big it is. See how big that is? Yeah. Now, hold on just a second. You just bear with me for a moment, please. Can you just get there? Oh, the first half. That's the first half. This is the health care bill. H.R. 3200. This is the health care bill that currently is being debated. Now, they may say there are 5 or 6 or whatever, but this is the one in the House that we currently have. This is it. All 1,017 or 1,018 pages. Again, compare this to this. This document is about we the people. This document is about them, the government. Yeah. And if you want to stay in afterwards and read a little bit of it, by all means, go ahead. But this past week, Congressman Snyder sought to clear the myths, as he called them, of the health care legislation currently being thrust through Congress. An attendee commented afterwards, "At this point in my life, I have never seen my America turn into what it has turned into. And I don't think that the representatives and senators are going to be able to pass a plan that pursues personal freedom. I am scared." I can understand that, because I too fear for the future of our nation, where our representatives seem to be caught up in a classic novel. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Last week at this town hall forum, my opponent said that he would not support any measure with government-funded abortions. Yet just a few short weeks ago, he voted against the Pence Amendment a measure that would discontinue funding for Planned Parenthood, the nation's largest provider of abortions. He also said at that same town hall forum that he does not support a single-payer health care bill. But in Washington, he said, we've had a shameful, reckless experiment in this country. And he also said that the day this bill, because this is the only bill that has been here, this bill is signed into law, will be the first day of a solution to our health care problems. This single-payer health care bill. It would appear that in this version of the Tale of Two Cities, my opponent is issuing promises in Little Rock under the guidance of his constituents, which he has no intention of keeping when under the supervision of Congresswoman Pelosi and President Obama in Washington, D.C. We do not want, nor will we accept government control over our lives, let alone our personal health care. In 1987, President Ronald Reagan stood before a wall and sought the true liberation of Berlin. In a line made famous for its call to freedom, to tear down the walls of oppression, the president demanded, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Walls have been built here in America on a foundation of arrogance with bricks of repression cemented in the idea that government knows best. If you walk across that bridge over there, you'll notice a plaque on the bridge in honor of the September 11th fallen, which defined freedom as not subject to the rule of control of another and liberation from the restraint or power of another. We must seek freedom from the bondage of a government who seeks to tell us what cars we can drive, what house we can buy, and what doctors we can see. We have it within our power to tear down the walls erected by a growing and consumer government and find true liberation, true freedom, and true security recognized and protected by the founders of our nation. We can take down this first brick of this wall by maintaining control of our personal health care, by ensuring that we pass a plan that pursues personal freedom. So what are some of these solutions? Well, the first one is a health savings account. This is something that I personally have. What it is it's an account that you can put your money into. It is done pre-tax. The government doesn't like that, by the way, because it's pre-tax. They want to take as much of your money as they possibly can. The health savings account is something that you can put your money into, and then when you go to a doctor, you can use it to pay your deductible. Or maybe there's a doctor that's not covered under your insurance plan. You can use that health savings account to go and pay for that doctor. Maybe there's some medication. You can use it on medication. There's a long, long list. I use this to buy eyeglasses because eyeglasses are included under the health savings account. As a matter of fact, if I wanted to go out and buy a new TV, I could. I pay a penalty. I pay a tax penalty because it's not part of my health, but that's my choice. It's my money, not the government's money. And that's what they need to understand. We need to have someone, me, go up to Washington and say, you know what? Let's do this. Let's allow everybody to set up a health savings account and put some money into that health savings account pre-tax. And then let them choose what doctor they want to go to, what medicine that they want to purchase, whatever else they want to use with that health savings account.